Look at what they're talking about now. Shh, wait. You didn't bring anybody with you. It's just me and you here, right? Listen, I've been talking for months about quantum computing in combination with DLT. Then this article pops up here. Listen, I told you, we're on the right track, right? We're on the case. This article is titled, Preparing for a Quantum and Crypto Ready Financial Landscape. You're going to want to hear what they say also. I've been saying this. It's all, if you're doing the research, it's all very clear, because what are we trying to do here, right? The companies, the retail investors, you want maximum amount of value coming in, correct? You want maximum amount of money. Everybody is here to make money in the end. You want the maximum amount. There's no way you get to that maximum amount, in my humble opinion, over the years, of course. This is a long-term type stuff, not short-term. It's going to take some time. But in the long term, if you want the mass of value, that the maximum that you could possibly bring in, you need quantum computing. I said this with AI. Then they start talking about what? DLT with AI. I said this with quantum computing, talked about it for a long time. And I'm glad I'm hearing these big timers talk about it now, because I mean, to keep it real, it gets a little bit lonely. You know, you're saying something alone for so long. Now, I think maybe people will listen. This article is titled, Preparing for a Quantum and Crypto Ready Financial Landscape. Let's scroll down. I want you to hear what they have to say. I think I probably put it on the screen already, a piece of it. All right. Now, listen to this. See, most people are not going to know this. You do. You took your time to listen. You're part of a special group. As blockchain technology matures and quantum computing pokes its head around the corner, observers believe the intersection between these two forces could hold the potential to redefine not only payment capabilities, but also how corporate treasuries manage risk, model finances, forecast liquidity, and guard against cyber threats. Financial institutions could increasingly find themselves uniquely positioned to steer and benefit from this concurrent evolution. It's all coming together. You're going to have everything merging together. There's no way around it. I said this. So then the next section is titled The Convergence Coming Together. That's convergence, congealing. It's all the same thing. The convergence, quantum computing meets blockchain. Listen, the future is very bright. It's going to be insane, but that's off into the distance. Quantum computing aims to solve the complex problems exponentially faster than classical computers. This capability can supercharge blockchain technology, which relies on cryptographic algorithms and decentralized ledgers to ensure secure and transparent transactions. Now, in the members only section, I made a few posts, and I believe even one video a little while back about a lot of these utility coin companies have already began becoming what they call it, quantum proof. Now, so as you're quantum proofing, they're obviously becoming very familiar with quantum computing technology. So not only that, that's number one. So they're familiar with it, right? If you're going to be quantum proofing, then I would also think that they're logical enough to know quantum computing is the future. If you're going to be a big business, you're going to need, a big financial intermediary of some sort. You're going to need quantum computing capabilities at some point in the future, and they have people prepping that. That's two. Number three, I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that, like most logical people, you're going to start making relationships so that in the future, those relationships with quantum computing experts and companies become partnerships, right? So then you're going to have that. So I'm pretty sure they're already on it, right? So let's keep going here. While blockchain's inherent security is currently robust, the advent of quantum computing poses both a challenge and opportunity. Like I said, look into which of these DLTs. You got to know which ones are the best of the best. So you have to know everything about them, right? That they're at the forefront of. Look into the ones that are quantum proof or working on quantum proofing. Those are the ones that are going to survive, thrive. If you see a company that's lagging behind, they're not making any progress, they're not making any advancements, they're not talking about things like AI implementation, they're not talking about things like quantum proofing, they're not saying anything, then that company, that doesn't mean they're not doing it, but let's say they're not doing it. They're not talking about it because they're not doing it. Then that company is not going to fare well into the future. Maybe in short term, yeah, sure. Maybe there's some great gains there, etc. But unless you're ready for the future, those gains or the benefit of that company or holding their assets is temporary. It's temporary. But let's keep going. It says on one hand, quantum computers could break traditional cryptographic methods. Like I said, some of them are already quantum proof and others are working on quantum proofing. You can find out which ones, right? We did. It says, so on one hand, quantum computers could break traditional cryptographic methods. On the other, they could create quantum resistance cryptography and enable more efficient blockchain operations. Of course, if it goes in one direction, it also can go in the other. A double-edged sword can be used to defend or it can be used to attack, right? That's how these things work. So we should have known that, it's just a lot of the times the media focuses on the negative and they're like, oh, quantum computing is a threat to these systems. But they don't cover the other side of it where there's these positives that we benefit from quantum computing. That's where people like myself come in. I'm going to look at both sides. I'm trying to be as balanced as I can. Of course, no one is perfect. But now, there was a piece here where they talk about how, and I think I posted that clip, actually, if I can't find it, I posted it probably at the beginning of the video, where they're talking about how it's going to supercharge the blockchain systems. Now, that's what's important. It says here, quantum computing's ability to analyze vast data sets and model countless variables simultaneously could offer a new frontier of risk management. So listen, this is going to be huge. I'm trying to find that little piece here. Can't remember exactly where it was, but like I said, I made the post already. I put the little clip up there. All right. Keep your eye on this. It should be huge. Let's move on here to another little piece, but that's huge information. And for someone like me, like I said, who I've been on that for a long time now, looking at quantum computing in combination with these things. Actually, I said there's a few things that are going to come together. You just wait and see. You have DLT, right? I talked about DLT AI. Now you're seeing it happen. I talked about DLT and quantum computing, and now you're seeing that happen. But all of those will come together in combination with, there's a few other things, but I'm gonna put this last mainstream thing out there. The others are not so mainstream. It's gonna take some time to develop them. But robotics. Okay, now listen, you're seeing the pricing of robotics is all over the place right now, depending on what they're offering and where it's coming from. So you do have some offerings where they claim it's going to be, I would say, affordable. If it's a $30,000 to $40,000 robot, I believe that's pretty freaking affordable. We'll see if they keep those prices there. I've seen some robotics come out lately. They're charging north of $100,000, et cetera. But to a lot of big companies, that's nothing, of course. But here in my mind, I'm thinking about small to medium-sized businesses, SMEs, all small to medium-sized enterprises, how they're going to be able to use it. That's where I'm thinking. That's where I'm looking, okay? Because that's where it really can make an impact. You imagine if mom and pop stores now, could have, not to get rid of the human workers, no, it's to complement them, right? But you can have some robots in the back working, with certain warehouse things. It's the morning shift. A lot of people don't like to work that early, not morning shift, it's night shift. A lot of people don't like to work that night shift. They got one guy in a store, there's a big truck comes in. This one guy is struggling to bring all this product in. I've seen that time and time again. Now, maybe you have that one guy and you have one robot. If the robots, let's say, I'm going to go up in price a little bit, $40,000, $60,000. I think the average store could get one robot. You get what I'm saying? Like, do you feel that way? Do you agree with that? So that's a game changer. Now the product is being brought in even faster, maybe even it's programmed to bring in product while the guy is running in front of the store. I've seen it a lot of times where stores, one guy in there and he's at the front, he's running to the back. And then you're like, where's this? It's like 2:30 in the morning. You're coming back from handling some business, etc. You're just getting back to the town. And it's early in the morning and the guy's not at the front. He's in the back moving product. Maybe that doesn't have to happen now, right? It's like things like that. It's just an example. But this is going to be huge, but that's all going to be in combination together. AI, quantum computing, DLT, and robotics. And I wouldn't be surprised in the future with all of these different partnerships that are going to come about if you see them packaged together also to sort of bring down the price of what it would cost if you just bought all of these parts individually. They'll probably package them together, I would assume. You let me know if you think that that's possible. So now let's go here. We got this other article. Here is Ripple potential valuation after IPO. All right, let's find out what's going on. A lot of people interested in this. It says here, XRP community commentators, including U.S. attorney John Deaton discussed the potential valuation for Ripple following its IPO. Notably, Ripple is again at the center of growing speculation about its potential valuation if it goes public. This speculation follows all the different political stuff happening in the U.S. Obviously, the environment looks like it's getting very crypto friendly. We shall see. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse has hinted that the company could reconsider an IPO. Look, like I said, if you look at what they're doing, right? Members only section, look at the post that I made and just scroll down to one of those Ripple posts. You're going to see 100%. I think they're going to be reconsidering because they're adjusting to the environment that is to come in the U.S. So anyway, but he says, so I do believe that they're reconsidering an IPO. Yeah, that's on the table. A prospect previously dismissed due to regulatory pressures. Yeah, and those pressures are about to be relieved. It says here, it says Neats Bucks, a prominent XRP community commentator, recently presented a valuation model for Ripple if it IPOs. According to Neats Bucks, Ripple could potentially trade at 3 times the value of its XRP holdings. Wow. Similar to how MicroStrategy trades in respect to its net asset value, Ripple's massive XRP holdings alongside its intrinsic business value could set it up as a major public company. Neats Bucks suggested that this structure could also reduce Ripple's need to sell XRP. We're going to see, I would love to see in the future if all the things that they're saying, behind the scenes about banks, etc., testing out XRP, using XRP. And it's like, obviously, if that's true and there's banks that are already trying to use a little bit of XRP, obviously got to be in a minute amount. Has to be a minute amount. If it's not a minute, small amount, then I think you would see that reflected in the price, obviously, right? But we shall see. Those are just rumors right now, right? But we'll see. So I just think that that's going to be something interesting to watch unfold if there's more information that comes out about that as the year progresses and regulations get a little looser. So now, who else is there? There's someone else that I believe that they're trying to convey their information here to us, but I don't see where. Oh, here it is. Okay. Sorry about that. I missed it. Meanwhile, pro-crypto attorney and 2024 Massachusetts Senate candidate John Deaton expanded on these ideas, citing specific figures. The attorney preference. Oh man, I'm messing up a lot today. It's just like that sometimes, folks. I'm not a perfect. I mess up sometimes. Sometimes I may have the energy people want in the video, right? And then sometimes I might not. Sometimes I might mess up. Sometimes I might be much better. That's how it goes sometimes. I am but a man. What can I do? I do know this. I give you the best I can every single video. I give the best of me every single time. That's all I can say. So now, it says, meanwhile, pro-crypto attorney and 2024 Massachusetts Senate candidate John Deaton, this is what he has to say. The attorney referenced a previous analysis from market veteran Peter Brandt. All right, so what does he have to say? Let's scroll down. They cropped the tweet. So let me read the tweet, but the tweet is like popping up and disappearing because there's an ad trying to like encroach on it. It says here, according to @Peter L. Brandt, if XRP breaks upward out of consolidation pattern, half-mast flag, quote unquote, a $500 billion market cap is possible. Note, he does not say likely. A $500 billion market cap equals a $8.72 XRP price. If XRP reaches that valuation, and then they don't continue. They didn't put the rest of it here. Come on now. While Brandt emphasized this scenario as possible rather than probable, such a market cap places XRP's price at $8.72. Interestingly, Deaton pointed out that this valuation would elevate XRP above Ethereum. Yes, but what about the IPO stuff? That's what you were here talking about. Come on now. The U.S. attorney then highlighted that Ripple currently holds about 40 billion XRP in escrow. Specifically, this figure has dropped to 37 billion XRP following recent escrow releases, including the one for January 2025. Deaton pointed out that these XRP tokens are not on Ripple's balance sheet. Okay. The attorney suggests the value of Ripple's holdings would grow to $348.8 billion. All right, we're going to move on from that. I don't want to stay on that for too long, but everything's looking really, really good with XRP as well as Ripple, in my humble opinion. All right, so now this article is titled Bitcoin's Slump is just a blip on its way to $250,000. This is what the experts are saying. I agree with that. I don't know. I'm not saying $250,000 I agree with. We'll see what happens. I just know it can go much higher than what I'm predicting. I believe Bitcoin, like my price has remained $150,000. I'll keep a little bit of Bitcoin. I definitely think it could go much higher than that in the future. But we shall see. But not financial advice, just my humble opinion. It says here, Bitcoin's going to go to $250,000 in 2025, according to Arthur Hayes. We're hearing a lot of people, a lot of these so-called experts give predictions around that price. We've seen a lot of different predictions actually lately, if I can use that word appropriately here. We've seen $250,000. We saw $500,000. None of these are new though. We saw 1.5 million. That was new. I think I can't remember who did it. It was the other day. Somebody said $1.5 million in yesterday's video. But Samson Mao, who's that comes to my mind when talking about $1 million Bitcoin predictions, he just said a flat million. But there's someone now saying they believe $1.5 million, but that's in the future, far, far into the future for Bitcoin. So I'm just putting it out there. There's a lot of different predictions here. Of course, where people want to sell is completely up to them. It says his argument, is that the U.S. regulatory environment is going to be much better in accepting of Bitcoin, which is going to allow a lot of these institutions to work with Bitcoin. Of course, we shall see. We'll see. I'm very excited and looking forward to what crypto is going to do. I believe crypto is going to shoot past the moon. And go through a few of those star systems there. So, we shall see. So now let's move on here to this next article. Today, I want to try to get through as many of these as I possibly can. Usually I have about 3 or 4 left over. So now this article is titled "Crypto Headed for Banana Singularity," quote unquote. What the heck is that? Where everything goes up. This is from some, I don't want to say some analyst, right? It may sound disrespectful, and I'm not trying to come off that way. It says Real Vision CEO Raoul Pal says the next phase will be an altcoin season, quote, when everything goes up. It says followed by a bigger consolidation. All right, yeah, that's possible. Crypto markets are in the, quote, banana zone, unquote, and heading into a, quote, banana singularity, unquote, or a period, quote, when everything goes up, unquote, according to Real Vision co-founder and CEO Raoul Pal. The banana zone is a term coined by Pal to describe a period of significant upward price movement. Yes, it says, quote, yes, we are still in the banana zone, unquote, macro investor Raoul Pal said on X on January the 10th, before adding that the first phase of this bull market was the breakout in November last year. That has been followed by the current period of consolidation, similar to 2016-2017 cycle, Powell said, before adding, quote, this won't last long, unquote. Wow, okay. I wish he would elaborate on that a little bit. What do you mean? What's not lasting long to you? Like, define that a little bit more. Elaborate. It says, looking ahead, Powell said in the next phase of the banana zone is a banana singularity, an altcoin season. When everything goes up, followed by a bigger consolidation. Altcoin season usually comes after Bitcoin dominance declines. I just don't see that happening soon. I just don't. I could be wrong. I'm not a know-it-all. I'm not one of those people at all. I could be wrong, but with all the catalysts, how does Bitcoin dominance slow down if we see continued adoption by nations, if the articles are correct and states within the United States are looking at utilizing Bitcoin, if all of that continues to make the people more bullish on Bitcoin, how does Bitcoin dominance decline soon? I just don't. I mean, we shall see. We'll see. That's my phrase for today. We shall see. But I just think it goes on. I think it's going to go a little longer than what some people are predicting. What do you think about that? All right. Anyway, so now this is in a separate X post on January 10th. DeFi researcher. is it Ox Nobler or OX Nobler? Seemingly concurred with Powell, telling his 225,000 X followers that, quote, Bitcoin just entered the acceleration phase, unquote, with a prediction of a huge pump to $500,000 that will, quote, ignite the biggest altcoin season in history, unquote. Oh, I like this person. Whoever this is, I was saying the same thing. Now I didn't say $500,000, but I believe that there's an explosion coming. And it does feel good to see that others are thinking the same. There's no guarantees in anything, but I think there's a massive explosion coming. I do. And I said this, all the top cryptos across the board are very, very bullish. Do not sleep on them. You do what you want. But man, yeah, there's a lot of bullishness out there. Despite any dips, despite any correction, it's building and building, whether people know it or not. It says here, still, futures trader Coin Mamba was more pessimistic. Quote, this sell-off is so bad that we will have an alt season just by prices going back to what it was 1 week ago, unquote. To each his own. Everybody has their opinion. All right. I don't need to go against that. I feel differently, for sure. This is nothing. I feel like this is nothing. I don't feel anything. What? It doesn't benefit me to lie and be like, I feel something different. No, I don't feel something. I feel nothing at all. It's just like another day. But like I said, to each his own. So now, and I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at the catalyst. Like, I can't even say behind the scenes. It's happening right in front of everybody's faces. Crypto is getting ready to go fully mainstream, to be fully unleashed, and not just in the US, globally. Things are happening that never happened before. Now it's just a matter of, do those conditions lead to an outcome that is just as explosive as the conditions? Does this explosive cause that is being generated give rise to an extremely explosive effect? So that's how I'm looking at it. All right. So now we have, once again, I'm going to have 2 articles left over, but we're going to cover this one here, keep the news a little bit balanced. OK, so this article is titled Bitcoin price drops 1.5% on Fed rate cut gloom as $88,000 remains in play. Bitcoin ends a run of 14 consecutive green candles. You know what's crazy? I said the other day, I wouldn't be surprised if it came down a little bit more. Remember I was talking about that? And then we saw it come down a little bit more. We saw certain selling going on. And I felt like that could happen. But as it goes down, it's becoming more and more bullish, because let me tell you, if you're reading these articles, there's a lot of people bullish on jumping into Bitcoin. They're even trying to pump that, like, oh, if Bitcoin goes down to this, you buy it. Like, they're literally just saying that. So we'll see if that has an effect. But I think that you're going to see a lot of big companies jumping in at a certain price range. And we'll see how that affects everything. The rubber band is getting pulled back. And so expect an equal amount of force when it moves in the other direction. All the bullish catalysts remain there. So we shall see. All right. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.